you talk a little bit about the retirement part. So it took you 5-6 years basically to come back on the road, and I can definitely like agree. Like it feels very weird, going to a tennis tournament like as a fan of the sport. Like you kind of like you're lost a little bit. You're like trying to, do I do a little bit of commentary? Do I do some sponsor things? But you're still kind of, yeah, you lose your life a little bit, right? And it is hard.
Yeah, I remember, the first few times I would buy tickets. I
Oh
didn't
my
want to
God.
even ask for a pass,
What?
Yeah, I swear.
Girl.
I didn't want anybody to see me.
Yeah, you're
was
like,
funny.
oh, don't
my
ask me
gosh,
anything.
That's amazing.
No, I remember, I mean, the social media, for example, we didn't have social media. I mean, and how much that changed also, it's so different these days. I mean, I, I'm grateful that we didn't have social
Oh
media
yeah, me
because,
too.
it's a lot. I mean, if you know how to handle it, great, but you have to put it aside and use it, when it's the right moment. But it's hard, it's difficult. I mean, today I love social media because you can be in touch with other athletes. I don't know most of the athletes, and I can congratulate,
Right.
the athlete,
Yeah.
and get in touch and have a connection. And this is what I love about social media. Like today I follow the Argentinians a lot. And so I congratulate them, or I ask them, how do you feel, and or best of luck, and but yeah, that also has changed a lot in the tennis. Well, so many things have changed.
What about like coaching, Gabby? Like have you had like a lot of players that have asked you to help them?
I mean,
or
I had a couple of opportunities, but no, I feel like I don't want to commit to something. Tennis, you have to be 100% committed. And the reason I stopped playing tennis is because I just didn't want to deal with. It's difficult to know why you burn out. I don't think it's the tennis, the playing itself. It's everything around it. And so it's yeah, it's difficult to commit these days. Like I didn't play tennis for like 10 years. I think I didn't touch a racket after I retired. And these days I feel like I don't want to commit. I mean, I tried to to go and look or be close to an Argentinian player a couple of times, but I feel like I cannot be there, committed to someone. I love to give advice, and if I can talk to someone from time to time, I love to do that. But I cannot go farther than that. Yeah.
that was one of the things, Gabby, that I felt like or could relate to was, you retiring at 26. I retired the first time at 24 because of the reasons. Like I, was able to win my first slam after a few Grand Slam final losses, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, like I did that, and then everything else around it, I just started really like seeing like how toxic I think that whole environment was, and the tennis world, and yeah, so I just wanted to step away from it. Like I just wasn't happy playing at all anymore. And so that was one of the things that I read and maybe didn't realize or didn't think about anymore, right, when you retired and at such a young age. And but I agree, like even with the social media, like I'm glad that I didn't have that, because that could have made me burn out even sooner. Like, like with all the
Sure, exactly.
with the personalities, like it's just a lot harder for the girls
It's
these days too
difficult.
on that side. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, yeah. And it's a tough decision. I mean, I think I felt this burnout maybe a couple of years before I even retire, and I
you
had
keep
to work
pushing
with it.
through, like
Yeah, and I had to work with the psychologist because I felt like I was into a hole and not interested in tennis anymore. And this already happened to me when I was like 17 years old. It happened to me for a very short period of time. And I thought at 26, I thought, well, or 24, I thought, well, this is maybe it's the same thing that is happening, and it will go away, and I will be back again, happy to play. But no, well, that's why I started to work with a psychologist, and he really pushed me to the limits, and I realized that, yeah, this is it. I'm sure that I don't want to continue to play. I'm just not happy, wake up in the morning and say, oh, I have to go and practice. Ooh, I don't want to do that. I was already fighting with my coach for him at that moment. But yeah, I was a boring person. I had no interest. I was just not happy. And I thought, well, tennis gave me so much that it's not fair for me to continue like this, and that's where I think you have to prioritize yourself and your happiness, and this is what I did. And it was tough because also in Argentina there was a lot of expectation, and I knew that it was going to be a tough decision to give out. So that was probably the hardest moment for me to announce it, because I knew, what the reaction was going to be, and that was not expected. But I said, this is my happiness, and I have to follow that. And I'm sure of this decision.
Did you ever think about coming back? Like,
No,
even
never.
3-4 years that you played with the idea? Because that's kind of what happened with me afterwards. Like, I had my
Sure.
daughter, and my dad passed away, and I was like, oh, Wimbledon sent me an invitation to go play. It was against Steffi and Andre, and I got to, when they built the new roof on center court, and that kind of sparked a little trigger in me again. And I was like, wait, I was so confused, because I was so certain that I was done with playing. And then, I started having these feelings again, and of enjoyment, and I didn't want to just practice, but I wanted to compete. And I felt embarrassed that I was going to come back, because literally 2 years earlier, that
But
was
maybe having a kid, also kind of give you a different energy, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you have those kind of feelings of should I do this? Why am I putting myself in the spotlight again? Why do I want to do all this again? And it's it's
well, it's good that you follow what you felt, what you were feeling
it felt
inside.
true, right?
That's the most important thing overall.
It felt like I was following my feeling and my intuition. It wasn't coming from somebody else, or it wasn't people telling me to do this. It was really something that I felt. But yeah, it's amazing. Even now, we were talking earlier.
You did amazing.
Yeah, but if you see now in Miami, you see players like Iga Swiatek, talking about her mental health, and we've seen Osaka in the past, and Alcaraz was complaining on the courts about wanting to be home, and it's just, people underestimate, and I think you, especially in your situation too, when from 13 years old, 14 years old, there's this, you're always competing and doing, and I think it's normal, maybe even more so as women, that you want to grow and you want to do other things and explore the world. And I felt
exactly.
I've done this for so long already. Let's try something else. And
it feels like I felt like I was 45 years old.
Yeah, I feel now I live like a grandma. No, not quite.
No, yeah. But that's how you feel inside, I've been here forever. I'm old. I'm too old. And yeah, I was only 26.
There was a clip I saw from the Hall of Fame where you said, if I were going to give advice to a young player, it would be don't stop doing what you love. And you told us that you loved the motorcycle riding, so that was a release for you. But since tennis, you really have, it seems, outside looking in, you've done what you've loved, and you're an adventurer at heart. Has that been really key for you in sort of finding that post-tennis identity?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you never have to lose who you are, or you always have to give time to that part, because you're growing as a person also, and you don't have to abandon just the opposite, I think, because one day you're not going to play tennis anymore. And you always have to listen to yourself and follow what you like to do. And I think maybe in the last few years, I realized how important it was my off time. And I think in this way, my coach, Carlos Kiermaier, he helped me a lot in doing that. Like, I don't know, I will be playing a tournament, and it was a tournament in Hilton Head on the beach, and I always dream of riding a horse on the beach. and I remember Carlos saying to me, let's do it, let's do it. Why not? And we did it, and I was accomplishing all the things I wanted to do, but simple things, I don't know, just simple things, I remember I was traveling with my guitar. I was playing guitar at one point. I was traveling with my rackets and my guitar.
you and John McEnroe.
Well, John, I think until today he's
he's out there
it.
singing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
You have to be the coolest tennis player, like I know now.
No joke. Can you imagine rocking up with the motorcycle and the guitar?
Crazy. I always loved to sing. That was until today, it's one of my favorite things to do. And I sang in different places. There was a presentation of my perfumes, and they did a big event at the Ajax stadium in Amsterdam. And there was this singer, this Dutch singer that I knew him. And he said, why don't we sing? He was going to sing. He said, why don't we sing a song? I'm like, are you sure? In the stadium? So, well, we practiced a little bit, and I sang with him in the stadium. And then on a TV show with a friend of mine, she's a very popular singer in Argentina. She said, let's do a song together. Also I did that. And after I retired from tennis, I wanted to know what was happening with the singing. I wanted to see, because I never put the time. And so my friend, this singer, he recommended me this teacher who was very good. And I will go and learn, do the exercises for singing. And I will go like 3 times or 3 times a week. And I loved it. But I realized that I didn't want to commit again to something, that will require, again, discipline and again, be committed to it. And I realized that I didn't want to go through that. But my teacher wanted me to sing. He said, you have the ability to become a singer. I said, no, I can't.
So now you just stick to what, showers and like car
Exactly.
rides?
Yeah. Well, sometimes if I'm with friends, they ask me to sing, but still I'm embarrassed to sing.
Oh my gosh, we need video from the girls'
All right,
trip
listen,
of
the
you
next
singing
Legends.
with Steffi.
Yes. Or the next Legends event, like once I
There
get
you go.
back, where you have to do like a karaoke or something.
We have to practice some way to prepare some songs.
So you're fearless.
I'm shy, but I have these desires. These are my hobbies.